Good morning, friends. It's Indiana Homes with my friend Kai Jorgensen and Lizzie. And today we are in Irvine, California, and we are going to hike Bommer Canyon in the Irvine Outdoor Preserve. I'm not sure I got that name right, but anyway, this is an area that is only open to the public certain times, not when it's raining and not when it's muddy. And it's going to be interesting because it is still winter by another week or so. So everything is green. If you come here in the summer, it's going to be hot and dry and brown. So get your steps in at Bommer Canyon while it's nice and green.
Bommer Canyon is an open space preserve in southern Irvine in California. It features hiking and biking trails as well as private event areas. The canyon is part of the Irvine Ranch, which itself is a national natural landmark. The first California natural landmark, in fact, and part of the city of Irvine's open space preserve. The preserve is adjacent to the affluent Irvine villages of Shady Canyon and Turtle Ridge and features roughly 16,000 acres of preserved open space. Approximately 15 of these acres are preserved as a cattle camp, named for the area's previous cattle operations, and are now rented for private events such as campouts, company picnics, and family reunions. The trails in Bommer Canyon feature groves of oak and sycamore trees, as well as rough rock outcrops, and are popular with area residents who use them for nature walks, hiking, and mountain biking. In 1837, Jose Antonio Andres Sepulveda established Rancho San Joaquin, including the entire area known as Bommer Canyon. In 1864, Flint, Bixby and Company purchased a large portion of Rancho San Joaquin, including Bommer Canyon and its surroundings. Then in 1867, James Irvine, who had been a silent partner in the Flint Bixby, became the sole owner of Irvine Ranch. Between the 1800s to the 1970s, the Bommer Canyon Cattle Camp served as the center of Irvine Company's cattle operations. James Irvine remarked in 1867 that he and his men rode about a good deal. That is, they rode about the Irvine Ranch quite a bit, sometimes coming home in the evening after a 30 or 40 mile ride, thoroughly tired out. But we had to do it in order to see much of the ranch and the flock. At the time, his Irvine Company had been purchasing further adjoining parcels of land, so there was considerable riding to be done, if one was to see much of the ranch, that is. By the 1970s, the Irvine Company had ceased its cattle operations altogether. With the Irvine Company cattle operations finished, the Irvine Company sold the Bommer Canyon area to the city of Irvine between 1981 and 1982. The city of Irvine purchased the land with grants obtained from the 1974 California Bond Act. In 1996, roughly 50,000 acres of preserved land on the Irvine Ranch, including Bommer Canyon, were designated as a National Natural Landmark, the first such landmark for California since 1987. Collectively, preserved lands are known as the Irvine Ranch Natural Landmarks. On April 22, 2008, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger hiked with the Irvine Company chairman Donald Bren, as well as local Eagle Scouts and Girl Scouts in Bommer Canyon before officially declaring nearly 40,000 acres of the old Irvine Ranch, including the canyon, as the first California natural landmark. As a California natural landmark, the state of California has recognized Bommer Canyon as one of the best examples of California's natural heritage. Following the hike in the canyon, Governor Schwarzenegger was quoted as saying, "Only in California can you see 40,000 acres of natural landmark right in the middle of one of the nation's most vibrant and economically important urban areas." While the designation doesn't secure permanent protection or public access in the area, officials at the time stated they hoped that designating Irvine Ranch as a California natural landmark would encourage long-term preservation through attention to the area's unique features. On April 15, 2011, the city of Irvine officially opened Bommer Canyon Trailhead at the corner of Bommer Canyon and Shady Canyon Roads. The trailhead opening included an official ribbon-cutting ceremony with the mayor of Irvine, Suki Kang, and the city council members, followed by an Earth Day hike through the preserve. Many of the trails in Bommer Canyon are open daily for self-guided hikes or bike riding from approximately dawn to dusk. However, some trails in the area within the canyon can only be accessed through guided programs and require pre-registration with the City of Irvine's Conservancy. The City of Irvine plans monthly wilderness access days to allow hikers and bikers access to these networks and trails. If you go to ocparks.gov, you should be able to find the pages and the links that you need to make reservations for various trails, not just in Bommer Canyon, but throughout Orange County. The City of Irvine currently permits area residents to rent the former cattle operations and part of the canyon for campouts and special events. The City of Irvine considers Bommer Canyon an important preservation area for many local plants, wildlife, and has stated that the area is home to a number of endangered species. The cattle camp portion of the canyon, intended for special events, includes a covered stage area, a barbecue pit, a large chuck wagon for food preparation and service, as well as sand volleyball courts, horseshoe pits, as well as areas for campfires. This is really a wonderful and unique area in Southern California, nestled right between the 73 freeway, which kind of bisects the mountains between Pacific Coast Highway to the southwest and the city of Irvine in Orange County to the north and northeast. So it is kind of cool that right here in the middle of all of this industry and all of these homes and all of this development, we have this beautiful nature preserve for all of us to enjoy. The Irvine Company has played such an important part in the development of Orange County that maybe we should talk a little bit about the history of the Irvine Company. So the Irvine Company is an American private company focused on real estate development. It is headquartered in Newport Beach, California, with a large portion of its operations centered in and around Irvine, California, which was a planned city of more than 300,000 people, mainly designed by the Irvine Company. The company was founded by the Irvine family, which is currently wholly owned by Donald Bren. Since the company is private, its financials are not released to the public. However, Bren is the wealthiest real estate developer in the United States with a net worth of $15.3 billion as of April 2021. The Irvine Company traces its history to the 185 square mile ranch founded by James Irvine, Benjamin and Thomas Flint, and Llewellyn Bixby in 1864 by combining 3 adjoining Mexican land grants. A drought in 1864 killed the livestock of Jose Antonio Sepulveda, forcing him to sell his coastal Rancho San Joaquin to Irvine and his partners. In 1866, they purchased Rancho Lomos de Santiago from William Wolfskill, largely unfarmable due to its steep, hilly terrain. It had been used mainly as a sheep ranch. In 1866, Flint, Bixby, and Irvine were among the claimants of a title lawsuit that divided Rancho Santiago de Santa Ana. Unlike other early Newport Beach landowners, Irvine and his partners had no interest in subdividing and selling intent. Instead, upon identifying the most lucrative agricultural uses for their enormous 120,000 acre tract of land, the Irish-born Irvine met Collis Huntington, soon to become one of the Central Pacific Railroad magnates, on a trip across the Atlantic. Rather than cementing a friendship, a disagreement that lasted throughout their lives resulted when Huntington's Southern Pacific Railroad needed Irvine's land for its route between Orange County and San Diego. Irvine refused. When S&P crews began laying tracks on Irvine land without permission, ranch hands with shotguns confronted the crews. Eventually, Irvine gave the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad permission to build on his ranch. When Irvine died in 1886, trustees left in control of the ranch until his son James II turned 25, tried to sell it at auction. When this auction was declared illegal, James II took over the reins of the ranch and accelerated efforts to increase its agricultural production. In 1894, he incorporated the land holdings as the Irvine Company. Between the late 1800s and the 1970s, the Irvine Company continued to run cattle operations on the property, with Bommer Canyon Cattle Camp serving as its center. In 1953, the National Scout Jamboree was held on Irvine Ranch land in the area of what is now Fashion Island Shopping Center. Jamboree Road, running from Newport Beach to Orange, was built to allow people to travel to the Jamboree from the nearby train stations. In 1961, the Irvine Company sold 990 acres to the University of California system for $1 to develop the new campus, which became the University of California at Irvine. The school was named in honor of the Irvine family, not the city of Irvine, which did not yet exist. 3 years later, the company sold at a discounted price an additional 510 acres to the university. During the early 1960s, the university and company, together with architect William Pereira, designed the Irvine Ranch Master Plan for developing the surrounding area. The city of Irvine officially incorporated in 1971, and it grew around the campus of UC Irvine. By the late 1970s, the Irvine Company had ceased its cattle operations. In 1977, the real estate developer Donald Brin began buying Irvine Company shares from the Irvine family. The Bommer Canyon area was sold to the city of Irvine between 1981 and 1982, purchased with grants from the 1974 California Bond Act. By 1983, Brin was the majority owner of the Irvine Company, and by 1996, he had purchased all outstanding shares and was the sole owner of the Irvine Company. The Irvine Company develops suburban master-planned communities throughout the central and southern Orange County areas of California, and residential buildings in Santa Monica, Silicon Valley, and San Diego County. The company also owns and manages office buildings in Milpitas, San Jose, Sunnyvale, downtown San Diego, Mission Valley, San Diego, La Jolla Village, University City, Sorrento Mesa, Del Mar Heights, Newport Center, UCI, West Los Angeles, Pasadena, Chicago, and New York City. The 93,000-acre Irvine Ranch remains the core holding of the Irvine Company. It encompasses almost 1/5 of Orange County, from the Pacific Ocean and Newport Harbor, Laguna Beach, the Santa Ana Canyon, to the boundary of the Cleveland National Forest. Of the total ranch area, 44,000 acres is retained for the development, whilst the remainder, principally rugged canyons, wetlands, and water districts, are maintained as wilderness and recreational preserves, collectively known as the Irvine Ranch Natural Landmarks. In August 2014, the Irvine Company announced its plans to donate and preserve 2,500 additional acres of land previously approved for housing. In part because of its land preservation grants, in 2018, the Irvine Company was named Business Philanthropist of the Year by the Greater Irvine Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber also cited gifts of more than $220 million to cities, schools, and universities. It's pretty incredible what the Irvine Company has been able to accomplish over the past several decades, and we have them to thank for a lot of what we see in Orange County and South Orange County and all of the natural preserves that we enjoy today as the public.
I see the critter poo, and probably coyotes. It looks like dog poo, so it's probably coyotes. It's nice when you get in these covered areas. These oak trees covering us here. Ah, this is so pretty in here. Okay, so here's a 3-mile marker here. So 3 miles from, or maybe it's just East Fork 3, I don't know what that means. We've actually hiked just under 3 miles from where we started, I think. What did I say? How many miles did I say we did? 2.6, yeah, so we're under 3 miles. And that was starting from the parking lot at Turtle Rock Community Center, so that was probably not 3-mile mark. It was probably just trail number 3 or something. Oh, we get some big trees down in here. So we started out kind of hiking in a meadow, and now we're starting to hike through like a tree grove of old oak trees. It's really pretty. Getting a little bit more elevation, you can see people coming down the trail here. I'm gonna stand off to the side and let them come down. We got trail cams here and there. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, they're like wildlife cameras. It's about the 3rd one I've seen. And maybe for security too. Hi, how are you? Okay, so now we got a little bit of a uphill climb on this trail. This is where the high top hiking boots help, honey, is on this kind of stuff. Gives you more support. Beautiful sound of all these birds chirping away. Love the cactus that crops up along the sides of the trail. That got me a little winded. Not too bad though. Walking up that incline. I can see some hawks up there. I don't know if those are raptors or hawks, but several of them, 4 of them, flying up there. Oh, crickets. Have you ever hiked from down in the streets of Hollywood up to the behind the Hollywood sign?
No.
leveled out.
Yeah.
He had enough. I got him up there. We spent the night.
And this was where?
Idlewild.
Oh yeah, Idlewild. Okay.
We spent the night. The next day, he was so little, I could not convince him that downhill was going to be easy.
Oh, he thought it was going to be just as hard.
I had to carry him down.
Oh my gosh. That taught you your lesson, buddy. No. Have you?
Yeah.
And do you go in the mine or you just hike around? You went in the mine?
Yeah, it's big.
Huh. Mines scare me.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
I always feel like there could be some like dangerous gases, or when I fall, a rock, it might have a mine cave in.
It goes back pretty far.
Yeah. Fell apart, huh?
I'm so sorry I did, because I've never had as good a pair of boots.
Well, I feel like they made boots better when we were younger, when they were all leather, heavy.
They stitched the soles onto the uppers.
Yep.
And
Now everything's all glued.
it's all glued and it comes apart.
Yep. Happened to me up at Malibu. Mine came apart about 4 or 5 miles in.
Mike the Patty told me to get barge cement.
Ha! Barge cement.
Yeah, so I did. And
Okay.
thank you. Didn't work, because when they glue them together or they vulcanize them together,
Yeah.
there's like a honeycomb inside, like a waffle.
Yeah.
There's nothing solid to really glue the surfaces.
Yeah.
So I've been through 2 or 3 pairs of boots since my lowest, and it's too bad. I think you can still get good boots, probably.
Well, they're like $600
Exactly.
to get the good kind
Yep.
that hardly anybody gets.
Right.
My neighbor across the street, who's astronomically wealthy, he just bought a pair of those boots that cost like $600 or $800. I can't think of the name of them, but they're the ones that are all leather.
The problem is those tend to be heavier.
Heavy.
And bulkier.
Heavy and bulky, yeah.
So these come in at the right price point. These are probably, I don't know what these were, but anywhere between 150 and 200, I'm okay.
Yeah. I think mine were about 130.
Have had several pairs of keys, but not that I've used for backpacking, mostly used for days.
Yeah.
That's where I wore here this morning. I had to put a pair of keys when I drove in.
Yeah, there's a brand that everybody seems to like. Can't think of the name of it now. And it starts with an M.
Merrill?
Merrill.
Yeah.
You had those?
May has a pair of those. I don't know if I've ever owned any.
Does she like them?
I don't know what their better boots are.
Uh-huh.
The ones she has are more mid-level to low.
Uh-huh.
Maybe something between what Liz is wearing and what you're wearing.
Ah.
They're a lightweight hiking boot.
We're almost there, honey. We're almost to the top. Just take your time. It's not a race. Yeah, there's this company called Rose Anvil. They have a YouTube channel, and this guy became famous doing this. He's a leather worker.
He's the guy who cuts them in half?
Cuts them in half.
Yeah, I watched that guy.
Yeah. So you can find good boots for all different purposes watching his channel. But they're, $600 to $800 for a good pair of stitched leather boots with a strong sole. Either way.
I just going slow because some parts are slippery.
Yeah,
Sure they
take
are.
it easy.
Well, like right there.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah, he does a lot of work boots.
A lot of work boots. He's got a boot.
So my son's friend, who is a longshoreman,
Oh yeah.
they give him a free pair of Red Wings every year.
Oh, that makes sense, sure.
These are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
So he loves his old Red Wings so much. It's a new pair every year. He gives him a new pair away.
Oh, nice.
They just fit out. So I have to give them to me.
Were they comfy? Did you like them?
I love them. I don't have a huge use for them,
Because they're work boots.
but they're really nice work boots. I really like them. When I went to work back to work for Surf Pro,
Yeah.
I had to get some work boots.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that.
Like my legs feel okay, it's just the air.
Yeah, even we get winded, yes. We're huffing and puffing. We've only been resting for several minutes now, so that's why we're not huffing and puffing so much. Okay, we have reached the top. I guess we've summited this trail, and now we look over and what do we see? The 73 toll road freeway that separates or bisects this little mountain here. On the other side of the 73 is the backcountry of Crystal Creek State Park, Newport Beach, that we hiked last week. That was beautiful, but I think this is the back side of it over here on the Irvine side.
They're not like out in here where we can see them, so they just on the back side there. Yeah.
So looking out straight ahead on the left and the right of this hill, you'll see all of Orange County. South Orange County that way, North Orange County that way, Irvine, Cal State, or UC Irvine right below. This is a special time of year when everything is green. There's a cool breeze, but it's not cold and it's not hot. Perfect weather for hiking. If you're standing still up here, you might get a little cold. But walking, hiking, you burn some calories, create some heat in your body, and stay warm. It's perfect. Just love it. Hi, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good. Just have to see which way the loop is, Ridge Route or Hodgson?
Ridge Road brings you down to the bottom of the hill down by the...
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Well, that is exactly what we want to do.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for then.
We want to go here.
How's your garden?
Okay, we are going down Ridge Route Trail, and this will loop back down to the parking lot from where we came, or maybe it'll probably be the parking lot where that cattle ranch building was. We actually parked further down at Turtle Creek Community Center, I think it was called. So we have at this point done 3.2 miles, and it was a gentle uphill for about the first 2 miles, and then the last 1.3 miles was quite a bit of uphill. So now we're heading downhill, and everybody should be happy except for me, because my knees do not like the downhill. I'll take the uphill any day. The downhill, depending on how steep it is, this is not steep at all. This is gentle right here. So when it starts to get steep, the knees will start to scream out at me, but at the moment it's fantastic. Just a gentle downhill. What do you think? This poop on the trail is coyote poop, or what do you think? It's good. There's so much of it, though. Yeah.
Why did they pick the trail?
Well, they could be pooping in the grass, but you just can't see. Maybe there's poop all in the grass, but we just don't see it. Or maybe it's like safer, there's snakes and stuff and other critters won't get them because they're not in the grass, you know, they're out in the open while they're in an indelicate position, kind of exposed, mid-poo. This would be absolutely perfect if we didn't hear the freeway over there and the airplane over there. So we're at the Ridge Route. That was marker number 7. It was a very gentle downhill. Now a slight little cresting here on this hill, and then I think we're going to start our descent. We'll see how that goes. Kind of a radio tower over here on the left with a solar panel, and now we're starting a little bit of gentle downhill. Get a view of South Irvine over here. I think that's the Great Park over there, straight ahead where you see that orange balloon. You probably can't see it with the camera here. Let's see if okay, look beyond those little yellow flowers. Straight ahead there, you see an orange balloon. I think that is the Great Park in Irvine. Oh, I love these prickly pear cactus. These are gorgeous.
2/10 of a pound for like weeks.
Yeah.
That was driving me crazy. And then 2 weeks ago, I was kind of snacking on.
Yeah.
I gained last Saturday. I weighed in on Saturday morning. I gained 6 pounds. I was so bummed out.
Yeah.
I was so bummed. So this week I went back to my normal, which is snacking, but I guess I must have just been over snacking.
Yeah.
And I lost 6 pounds.
Watch out for the horse poo here, or whatever that is.
I couldn't believe I lost all 6 pounds. I expected to lose maybe 2.
It could be like water or something like that. I guess we're eating carbs.
It's that sourdough bread at night.
Before I didn't work, so I was kind of get up in the morning, have some coffee, go for my hour walk, and then kind of snack and graze all day.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe I was doing that. So now I lost that 50, but could be
And we have another trail marker here for Ridge Route. Now we're coming around the back side of that hill. We were coming up that canyon that was a little bit steep at some points, the last mile and a third. Now we're on the other side of that, and you can really see a lot more housing over here on the right. And there's some kind of a lake or a reservoir down there as well. Let's see if we can, some kind of a reservoir, little lake down there. This is easy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to everybody. Mine are too. It's because you're swinging those hands and the blood can't get back to your heart very easily. There's some people coming up the other way, coming towards us. Grass is getting pretty high here. It's just about hip level now.
You had to have an appointment and go pick up the address.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's emotional.
Great
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah, that's so was her mom. I thought it was her dad.
No, her dad passed away when we were 18.
Oh, okay.
I was living in Palm Desert. I think it was right after graduation.
Oh, okay, that was the story, right?
Yeah, I thought she was her mom.
It was her mom.
How old was her mom?
Almost 93 or
Oh my
94, but I'm
goodness.
not sure.
Wow, that's a long life.
No, you don't usually get to pick. If you do get to pick, well, then it's death by suicide. Well, those are some big houses there, up there on the top of the hill.
Yeah, we're talking some money there.
Yeah, that's some serious money.
Geological survey and grading before we even.
I didn't think we'd need them for this.
You guys are working these mine.
I thought it would be pretty gentle, so I didn't bring them. Only time I really need them is when I'm going down a steep downhill. Like, if we were going down the part that we went up today, I would have definitely pulled out some sticks, and hopefully we won't have anything like that on the rest of this trail. Seems like a pretty gentle downhill here.
We thought about buying a cabin. We've looked up in Crestline a few times, and then also there's some great places up in.
We've gotten to a place where we have to make a choice between Big Rock or Small Rock. I guess we're going to be daring and go down Big Rock and see if we survive. Oh yeah, this could be a little tricky. It's a little slippery there.
You might need two hands.
Is this the big rock?
Yeah. Okay.
It's not that big.
No, but it's a little slick.
Maybe there's a bigger rock coming.
No, I think this is it. Just have to kind of do this. There we go. People coming down Big Rock. And we all made it.
There's just a ton of people making a ton of money. There's really a lot of people.
Some of it could be generational wealth, though, too. Like they inherit money from grandma and grandpa or their parents.
It definitely is going to be, but still, I think a lot of these people either it's generational as in they take over the company business or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's been so much opportunity in this country
Yeah,
that there's just lots of people making lots of money.
I guess.
And you've also got foreign money too.
True, true.
And then California
Runner coming.
and the weather is want to come here. River has money.
You know, we get a lot of foreign money here. There's a lot of foreign money in Irvine. So it's also kind of hard to judge it when people can come from another country and buy a big house like that.
Yeah.
Because that's a little different. But you know, you get out of medical school, or you pass the bar. It doesn't mean you're going to move into a house like that. I mean, it's still really expensive.
Yep.
It's really like you need to almost be a business owner or something.
Yeah.
A successful business. It used to be that those houses on the hill would be the doctors and lawyers, and to some degree, I'm sure that's still true. But you tell me, I'll go lawyer going to make two. I could buy a 2-bedroom condo here, and my taxes will be $9,000.
Yep.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
And it seems like every time there's an inexpensive place that's somewhat desirable, it gets discovered and becomes really expensive. Like a few years back, I was like, maybe like 10 years ago, I was like, oh, Nashville seems like it'd be really fun to live in, because there's so much entertainment and it's so cheap to live there, and housing was so cheap. Well, within a few years after I was looking at that, everybody started buying in Nashville, and now it's almost as expensive on average as it is here, and they have a lot of areas that were just middle class that are now priced in the top 5%, and then the same thing's happening to the rest of Tennessee now.
Yeah, absolutely true. And the area gets popular, and an area gets popular, and that happens. In the case of Nashville, Nissan moved out there.
Oh, maybe that's what did it, huh?
So, but it's they probably look. Surf Pro moved there.
Oh, did they?
Surf Pro moved there. I don't know what year. They were in Sacramento in 1968 or so, but at some point they moved, and they moved just outside of Nashville in a place called Gallatin.
Okay, yeah.
And so you fly into Nashville. So I've been there a few times, and the thing is the owners and the people, they've got these gargantuan mansions.
Yeah.
Which they could afford here at this point. But
Sure.
when they started out, they bought the company from their parents, and they moved to Tennessee. And you have to take a look at property values, and you have to take a look at the workforce that's available.
Sure.
And so Nissan probably did that as Tennessee became popular, Nashville became popular, and Nissan moved out there, and they have this workforce they can draw from.
Yeah.
And those people in a lower cost of living aren't going to need as much money to live.
You don't have to pay them as much, right? Hi, how you doing?
Good, how's it going?
Excellent.
Thank you.
And then, as you said, then the prices start to go up there. But that's happened in all across the country.
Yep.
Because I looked for properties everywhere. I look in, especially in Utah and all.
Make friends and stuff also.
Hi. How cute. Good morning.
Get together anymore.
Right.
So that happens. So yeah, I think there's some truth to that. But like I said, St. George was the #1 or #2 place to retire to for a while.
Sure.
It was very high on the list of places to retire. So people coming from all over the country to St. George. And so you get a mix of people. I used to do a little bit of business with this guy. He and his wife, and he had 2 or 3 kids, ran a shuttle service for back. He gets to come out and ride motorcycles with us and doesn't have to get 10% of his income.
Right.
Doesn't seem fair. Yeah. I don't know. And then, as much as I would love to have sold my house and moved into Springdale.
Uh-huh.
And in Springdale, you're going to have probably a lot of workers who are LDS.
Yeah.
But everybody else is from around the world.
Sure.
Year round, you're going to be just surrounded by tourists, and I don't know.
Where is Springdale in relationship to St. George?
It's about 45 minutes. You
North,
head out of
south,
St.
east?
George, Virgin, and into Springdale, which Springdale is the town at the entrance of Zion.
Okay.
Like when you go in the main entrance of Zion, that's Springdale.
Well, that must be a really small town, I would
It's a
think.
very small town.
Well, it'll be tough if you're trying to try to do that. And as much as, didn't you say May's best friend lives down here? And
Well, that's the thing, yeah. You know, everybody
if
has
Adam
a friend.
doesn't want to move up there, then, you know, that's
Exactly.
the
Everybody has
anchor that's going to keep you here.
That's right. But a lot of people also do, when they retire, move places. Especially when you live in a place like this, which can be expensive for retirees.
Oh, yeah.
And you could go find another place that is more affordable, maybe more suited for a retiree lifestyle. So, yeah, I don't know I'm not really pushing for Utah because I don't think that they really would want to do it.
And we have come to the bottom of the trail. We have made it back. And I'm going to guess we've done probably about 6 miles or so. So I think it's time for lunch.
Please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notifications button. Thank you very much.